Hello, dear friends. We're happy to welcome you at the international discussion on the Creative Society channel. Today, we will continue to uncover the topics raised at the historical international online conference Global Crisis, Time for the Truth, which took place on December 4th, 2021. Millions of people all around the world witnessed an unprecedented large-scale event. Just think about 100 countries participated, 100 languages of simultaneous interpretation, and almost 12 hours live broadcast with most important information for each of us. This unique event was organized by volunteers, by people who truly understand the critical situation on our planet and critical need of sharing this information with everyone.
Yes, nearly 4 months later, and people are still discussing the event intensively. This event motivates people to explore further and prepare for the upcoming strategic step for all of humanity, which will happen on May 7th, the Global Crisis Online Forum. We are people. We want to live. The whole world will gather and present even more facts and truth about what is happening on our planet. And most importantly, solutions will be discussed. Facts about modern collaborationism, who is playing on the side of the common enemy of humanity, the real cause of global climate change, who and why is hiding the truth from people, climatic disasters through the eyes of eyewitnesses, refugees, why does it affect everyone, escalating social violence, slavery and human trafficking. And also significantly, we will cover how creative society can help us solve all the above-mentioned issues. Again, thanks to volunteer translators from around the world, the forum will be simultaneously interpreted into 100 languages. If you want to be an informational partner, you can write to info@creativesociety.com.
Thank you so much, Robert. Dear viewers, please save the date. That's a life-saving event that we all need to join. And today I'm honored to introduce you to our guest. These are the people who are already acting for the benefits of humanity, for the benefits of our civilization. And we're very happy that we have this opportunity today to discuss all together the most important and crucial issue of our society. I'm honored to introduce you to Dr. Ibrahim Eltom, Associate Professor from the Department of Environment and Ecology, University of Khartoum, Sudan. Mahdia Ibrahimi, student from Afghanistan. Anastasia Gontaruk, Head of Finance Department, United Arab Emirates. And Sami Al Herbawi, corporate coach and trainer from United Arab Emirates as well. Dear guest, welcome. Very happy to have you here with us today.
And today, with our guests, we are going to discuss many important topics. And let's just start with the first topic by watching a following video.
Shocking fact. Unknown viruses and bacteria are being released from ice captivity. In 15,000-year-old and 520,000-year-old glacier ice, scientists have discovered 33 viruses, 28 of them absolutely new to science. Now, the permafrost is melting at a catastrophic rate, and the viruses that have come to life are more dangerous due to their extreme resilience, which allow them to survive extreme conditions. Is our science ready to protect us? The consumerist format has already proved its inability to fight a new virus. New pandemics can develop into another catastrophe of a planetary scale. Do you want that? Only in the creative society will science serve people and all technology serve to protect people's lives. Take action. By informing about the creative society, you are saving everyone's lives. Join the online forum, Global Crisis, We Are People, We Want to Live, on May 7th, 2022. Speak out. Tell everyone about this forum.
Everyone talks about melting glaciers nowadays and the great floods, but few talk about viruses frozen in the ice for thousands of years, and we know nothing about them. And I have a question to Dr. Ibrahim. Could you give your professional opinion on this topic? How dangerous they are, and do we have technology to prevent?
The topic mainly is one of the climate change issue under the melting of the glacier areas. This is highly concentrated in the environmental studies and the climatological studies. There are so many impacts and consequences of this melting. But the situation and condition is it reach the severity or now is mild. In some studies, there is people and writers prospect that there is dangerous for this danger risk high crisis maybe emerge from these problems or phenomena of glacier melting. If you associate this with the pandemic, for example, or epidemic, really it is a matter of outbreak of these viruses or parasites from these areas to another areas, and to be widespread over the globe. This is a matter of mobilization. Technology there is to curb or to monitor or to try to stop the outbreak of this pandemic. It is a matter of cross boundaries, I think, problem. But the international system, the WHO, is a part of these problems. To what extent the technology can stop and to protect other societies to transform these pandemic consequences. It is a matter of global collaboration, and scientists can do best for more and more for these technologies. Now, COVID-19 is an example for these same problems.
Thank you, Dr. Ibrahim. I totally agree that it's a big question that nobody knows about anything. And another question that we are being asked by people is how creative society can help us to solve all the problems and challenges that we now face as a society. And I just want to briefly touch on this question. Do you know how much money is spent on developments which generally are destroying us, or at the best are of no use at all? And thanks to the construction of creative society and aid foundations, it will not be difficult to see the financial flows like in your internet banking, and it will basically show you at least where your taxes are going. And idea of the creative society is the idea where every person takes an active part, and namely in decision making. Now we do have technologies that service the business, and a small group of companies uses these technologies, invest money in these technologies, and their first priority is always profit. And this is only normal for the consumer format. In creative society, companies don't have to worry about profits, as everyone will have plenty. In creative society, they will be valued on how much benefit they will bring to society and to every person, and not how much money they will make. And then also the society will also give them money to develop technologies for the benefit of society and everyone. So this is basically how it could help us to overcome the challenges that we have right now.
Yes, that absolutely makes sense. And the main criteria of consumer format is economic profitability. Everything is decided by profit. But the main difference, creative society from a consumer format, that in a creative society, the highest value, it's not a profit. The highest value is the human life. Creative society, we act accordingly that value. And therefore, the technology that bring profit, only the profit, we will not develop and implement, but instead we will develop and implement technology that will help people, that provide higher standards of living or health for every single person, not just for the small group of individuals, but for every single person on earth. And that's the biggest difference, because in a creative society, every human life is valuable. And unfortunately, nowadays, we see a completely different picture. And right now, I would like to invite you to watch the short video about the terrible face of the consumer format. And while we will watch it, let's think all together. Do we really want to prolongate this format, to prolongate this suffering and the struggle? Let's watch it.
In this video, we had to change some words and expressions using milder terms. But we hope that the severity of the problems looming over our society will still be evident. In the 21st century, human civilization boasts about its high level of intellectual development and incredible technological achievements. At the same time, at least half the world's population do not receive the health service they need. 8 billion deaths occur every year as a result of poor quality of medical care. Healthcare costs are so high that they drive about 100 million people into extreme poverty each year. Living below the poverty line leads to an increase in child labor. Nearly 1 child out of every 10 is forced to work. Often, this work involves hazardous machinery and poisonous fumes. The list of products produced by child slave labor includes gold and precious stones, coffee, cocoa, rice, baby products, and clothing. According to UN statistics alone, more than 40 million people are victims of modern slavery. Forced labor, child labor, forced marriage, debt bondage, human trafficking for illegal exploitation, and recruitment of children for armed conflict. In the consumeristic format of society, people have already surpassed wild animals in terms of cruelty. More and more often, children are used as live bombs. In Nigeria, criminals put an explosive on a girl with a baby in her arms. After years of warfare, the economic crisis and drought have caused famine in Afghanistan. There is a well-known case where a mother was forced to sell her little daughter for 400 euros to feed her other children. Today, more than 41 million people are one step to death from starvation. and about 811 million people are starving. Meanwhile, every year, more than 1 billion tons of food are thrown away, and unsold goods, including those produced by means of slave labor, are destroyed. The absurdity of consumer society is that a human himself has become a commodity. Annual income from human trafficking worldwide is $150 billion, which is the largest source of illicit profit in the world. There are 534 human trafficking flows registered in 148 countries. The number of detected child victims had tripled over the last 15 years. Victims of traffickers are mainly migrants and jobless people, as they are the most vulnerable. International treaties proclaim goals of ending poverty and slavery. But in the context of a mass consumption economy, the whole system is designed to protect private capital. In the consumerist format of society, money is more valuable than human life. Worldwide, more than 2 million children a year become victims of trafficking for all kinds of exploitation. In Mexico, 25% of all women who are victims of trafficking are girls under 18.
Please help. My husband threatens me. He beats me. He forces me to have sex with his friends who come here so he can make money. They started beating me, pouring alcohol on me, making me drink, pointing a gun at me, saying they would kill me and no one would ask about me, no one would know where I was. And they opened the window and said, "Jump or we will shoot you in the head."
And did you jump?
Yes.
From which floor?
I think it was the 5th floor.
In the consumerist format of society, people are ready to kill each other to satisfy ambitions for fun and profit. Illicit trafficking of human organs worldwide is estimated at $600 million a year. According to WHO statistics, 10,000 human organs are illegally transplanted every year. In Nigeria, special baby factories are set up on a massive scale where children are bred like a livestock. Teenage girls are forcibly impregnated and coerced to bear their life commodity for sale.
But most of them are pregnant teenagers. They were held captive for one purpose, to force them to give birth. The kidnappers were making money on selling the babies. I got a call at 6 a.m. this morning saying that there were kidnappers at the school, that all our children had been kidnapped, including my daughter. We rushed there. It was confirmed that they had all been captured.
Are we human civilization if human life has no value on this planet? To change this, we all need to stop supporting the consumeristic format of society and unite in a common goal to build the creative society.
Yes, the video showed and emphasize all the most painful parts of our life that sometimes we don't want to see. And we plan to ask, what realities of the current format of society do you consider unacceptable for humans? And why is the consumerist format absurd and is that dead end for all of the people, for all of our civilization? Sami?
Thank you so much for hosting me in this event and giving me the chance to have my opinion in this part. What I would like to say that really what I see in this world that is not acceptable as far as society is concerned is the double standards when it comes for defining success. Companies define success to be margin of profit and define failure and loss by the projected profit. So sometimes a company has achieved, for instance, the target they want to have, but over the past years, they've been making millions and millions of profit. But when the profit that is forecasted is not achieved, they consider this to be a loss. And they squeeze the resources and they squeeze the people and they put everyone under pressure, despite of them achieving actually the targets they were aiming to achieve. It just wasn't as per their forecast. So what I feel is pushing the society into this consumable behavior is that there isn't justification towards the targets they're setting to themselves. And accordingly, we as individuals, part of these companies, are pushing ourselves because we want to excel. We want to secure our jobs. We want to reach our targets. So what do? We follow the same pattern. We try to succeed and compromise with the values. We sometimes don't be honest, but we want to hit the targets. And when we are measuring success, we measure it by what materialistic stuff. And we don't reward the person who tried really hard but couldn't make it. We instead, in fact, reward the person who didn't work hard, probably, allow me to say, stole someone's work, and we reward him for achieving the target. So I think what is really painful in the society and totally not acceptable is the double standards in defining success, which is leading and rewarding things that affecting human values.
I absolutely agree with you. And I also see the double standard in the definition of civilization, because we prefer to call ourselves as a civilization, but how we define that civilization, or how we define the successful country by the what? The success of like a small group of people, or we should look at the more fortunate group of people that we see everywhere in the world right now, and we're watching them, watching their struggle and do nothing, or trying to do our best, but in fact in a consumer format we cannot help them, because that's the thing, that consumer format itself will not allow us to do that change. It's like, if you would like to see all people happy and all people living within a good like standard, we need to change the format completely, because it's just impossible. And the more we look at the consumer format, the more we'll see this deep hole that we never be able to fill up. So thank you so much for touching that double standard issue.
Whether we liked it or not, this is exactly the true face of the consumer format. We may pretend it's not like that, but this is the reality. No matter how we try to look good, look nice, everything is okay, it is not. And this is not everything. Also considering the increasing climatic disasters, which even increase the millions of people that are now suffering. And you and I know that this is just the beginning. And we human beings, we need to realize that we are not each other's enemies as soon as possible. We have only one enemy, climate. And the horror is that the enemy is already attacking and we do nothing. We have been fighting carbon dioxide for 40 years and nothing has changed. People are still dying. Temperatures are rising. And this is the result of consumer format. What is the value of life now in our consumer society? Anastasia, would you like to touch upon this topic?
Actually, when I watched the conference on 4th of December 2021, I felt terrified. And first, I didn't understand. I felt terrified because of the truly facts which volunteers of Creative Society revealed for everyone, or I was terrified because mostly people don't know this truth about what is coming, about the difficulties we will face. We're already facing now, but we will face more. And of course, the topic of refugees, of trafficking, it was the most difficult topic during the conference, and it's a disaster. And of course, we cannot call ourselves a civilization of 21st century if we're closing our eyes. Because I definitely know that whenever we know such information and we agree with this information, we are silent about it, it means we already agreed that this is normal. And of course, I can see that for the last couple of years, this information starts revealing through the internet more and more. So people will know what's going on in reality, what we live now. And of course, consuming society is the main problem, that the value is the money right now in our society, not the human life. Mostly humans trying to survive. We should change it. Also, I realized one very important thing, that we've been separated for many years. We don't know the information about what is going on around the world. Whatever media is showing to us, it contains only information about our country where we live in. So we don't see the whole picture. And the conference relieved the whole picture of what's going on right now. So, of course, we need to unite. We need to inform people that we can change it. We can value human life. We just need to realize and understand that this is the only thing what can unite us. The value of human life of each person on this planet. Because this is the common thing what we all have. You know, I realized for the last couple of months after I watched the conference, I start seeing people, and I start seeing that the person has the same process in their bodies like me. Maybe they can look different, but every person wants the same thing. If everyone will understand it in general, that it will be very easy to unite. It will be very easy to manage, create a society to become a part of our life. And I'm sure that as soon as it will happen, we can change it very fast. I'm sure about it. Because potential of humanity in general around the world, I know that there are so many great people, and we're just separated. We don't know about each other, but right now, thanks to volunteers of Creative Society, it's happening. You feel that you start being connecting to the whole world. You're knowing people from different countries, and you talk to them openly about all these crises we're facing right now. And you see that they understand, that they talk with you in one language about all these issues which we are facing. So for sure that the value of human life is the foundation of this union. This is what I realized. And I just want to say thank you so much. It's such a pleasure to be here today. And I feel so great gratitude to all these people who organized the conference. And it was a pleasure to hear different scientists around the world, and that they are ready to reveal the truth. So thank you.
So much, Anastasia. That's absolutely right, that we human, we have huge potential. And right now we have the same huge possibility to unite around the idea of building a world where human life will be the highest value. And that's very, very important, because right now what we see, the old formula, divide and conquer, works so well. So instead of finding what unites us, we taught to find what divides us. And that's artificial division, because we understand, every single person understands that we are all the same, because we are striving to live according to the best human values. Everyone would like to live in a good society without war, conflict, economical crisis. We all would like to see our children growing up happy kids. So that's why we need to unite. We need to stand up. We need to raise our voice and share the information about creative society. That's only way out that we have right now. And to understand that in the moment we have only one common enemy that killing us, and this is the climate. And again, to stand up against that threat, we can only together. We need to realize that threat, and we need to unite all our scientific potential in order to create new technology that will save us. And you're absolutely right that consumer format is killing us. And I would like to ask my next question to Mahdia. How do you think how much more grief and suffering we have to see and experience in order to wake up and start to take action? And how can we reach the heart of people? How we can motivate them to act?
Thank you so much for giving this opportunity. Every single day, we witness that the people are suffering, the people are dying, and the people are more concerned about their future, especially in Afghanistan. And I think we should inform the people in around of the world about the situation, that the people are suffering and the children are not happy. In my own country, Afghanistan, the children, instead of going to the school, they're going to the street for selling plastic or for washing the car, and most of them are orphan children. That it is real important when the people are saying or talking about humanity, about compassion and gratitude. We have to pay attention to more people, that up to when the people should suffer, up to when the people should be angry or hungry. And I'm witness in Afghanistan that I am working with the orphans in Kabul, and there are more than 1,000 orphanages in Kabul that they lost their dad or they lost their mother at the suicide attacking in different places of Afghanistan. That all the time the politicians, the governments are always saying that we have to do something and we have to find solution. But after some day, they are silent and they couldn't find any solution for that. For instance, in Afghanistan, one of the bomb blasts or suicide attacking happened at the hospital, and the terrorists killed the pregnant woman and newborn baby in Afghanistan. And after some day, the former president of Afghanistan came to the hospital and said that I'm so sorry. And but after that, it wasn't enough for us only saying sorry. We have to do something, and if we don't take any action today, tomorrow will be too late, and that time it will not be enough. That will not be good for all the people in around of the world. I want to say that if we want to have peace or peaceful environment without any war and violence, we have to stand up together and we have to push each other. And we should say that we are human beings and we can do everything that we want. And also we are saying that we are the supreme creator of God. When you are saying that you are supreme creator of God, we have to take action. And we have minds and we have different things to use it. And I think that regardless of gender, regardless of religion, countries, skin or color, we have to stand up together and we should say that I am responsible towards the world, and we have to make a better place for all the people, for all the gender, for all the human beings. And I think we through creative society, we can inform all the people about the situation, the truth, that what's happening in the world, and we have to stand up together. And we shouldn't say that I can't do this, but together we can do. As Mother Teresa once said that none of us, including me, have never or ever do a great job, but together with great love we can do a wonderful things in the world. And I believe that talents wins the reward or prize, but the teamwork or unity wins the championship. And if we work together, if we help each other or encourage each other, we will have more a peaceful society or peaceful world without any fear and without any violence. And I hope that one day all the people come together and they should talk about this situation. They should find a solution, and we should be voice for the voiceless. And we shouldn't be silent. It's time for taking action, for saying that it's my responsibility, and we should do something in our life and in our thoughts. And one day when we die, the God should be proud of us instead of and thing is that we couldn't do anything. When we die, we should be proud of ourselves that I could do this, I could help for the people, I could help the people, I could do something for humanity. I think with great love, with working together, we will win the championship. Thank you.
Can I comment on this, please?
Yes, please, go ahead.
I am a person who is standing here in between a generation of Mahdia and a generation of Dr. Ibrahim. And we are all united on the same cause. The words of Mahdia now moved my heart. I was about to literally give her a standing ovation, but I was told not to leave my seat. But she really moved my heart. And what is between us here is the human spirit. Now, I'm not elder than her because she has the same spirit that I have. And I'm not younger than Doctor, and I'm not younger than Anastasia or any of the speakers. And this is what creative society is all about. We might be in this game of life in different time zone, but we all have the same spirit and the same values. And when Mahdia said that what's important is when we die, we are so proud of what we did, because these are my words. Where did you steal it from, Mahdia? These are my words that are in my mind. And how could they present in your mind? It's not about hacking, but actually we both are connected to the same server. And I wouldn't ever get a chance to meet Mahdia and meet Dr. Yusuf and meet Anastasia and get to hear their input if there was not people who devoted their time to put us all together. So just imagine if we spend the rest of our lives just searching for people, likewise people, and putting them all together, what can we find? And what kind of society we can build?
Yes, exactly. I totally agree with your words. And as also Mahdia said, that every one of us should become a messenger and speak about the creative society, not because he has to, but because that's our natural way. There was a huge survey done a couple of years ago with millions of interviews, right, Marina? They were talking about our natural way.
The way how we would like to live, and that actually was a start point for the project Creative Society and for the idea of Creative Society and for the Aid Foundation. That how they were formed and born through the people answers from the people, again, from around the world, from more than 180 countries. And when you compare all the answers, they were all the same. And that was so easy for us to put them in the Aid Foundation. And we understand right now, so Mahdia said like very, very wisely that we are all responsible for the world in which we live in. And if we all would like to live in a creative society, what needs to be done? We need to inform the people, because we need to create this electoral demand in the countries so that we can go through the legal system and establish the Aid Foundation everywhere. And what we need to do is to inform. I know that millions of people already know about creative society, but it's still not enough. We need billions. It's almost 8 billions of people of us, and we need to talk to every single person and inform about the possibility of building the creative society. And of course, the most burning question, how we can explain to everyone in the shortest possible time about the creative society and about this huge possibility. So Anastasia, maybe you can share with us what kind of instrument we can use in order to reach that goal as soon as possible.
I think right now, of course, social media, internet, and all the instruments as a TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and other messengers is a good way to inform people. And I can see that like every day people informing about creative society in a different way. Sometimes they're making a nice video, sometimes they're just sharing their feedback about the conference. So I realized for the last couple of months the power of media. And actually right now what is happening in the world, you can see the power of information and how information can rule the world. I understand it's very simply, you change the information, you will change the world. That's why the first stage of creative society is to inform people. Whenever we inform, we're asking a simple question, we are telling them first of all about all the crises what are happening right now, and they can see it. And secondly, we are talking about how people can change to creative society. We are telling them about 8 foundations, and I think every human being wants to live in a creative society. So the most important to give information to everyone, and then this person will just make a choice. He or she will choose inside if they want to leave, they want to share this information forward. And definitely day by day we are informing, and we can inform everyone we know, and so many friends, so many let's say close people to us or relatives, they also start participating and sharing information. But with the social media right now, with the help of bloggers, we can do it really quickly and really fast. So now this is the most important stage to build a creative society, and we are working on it as a team everywhere, because we have teams almost in every country. And yeah, so this is the most important right now. Information, to change the information.
Thank you so much, Anastasia. And I would like to hear from Dr. Ibrahim. So from your personal experience, what do you think, how can we explain and reach as many as possible people in the shortest as possible time and share the information about creative society?
Yeah, thank you very much for this opportunity. First of all, I will turn back to the video, terrible video. If you add a little short video from Sudan, you can see more miserable, support, like this, what have been shown in this video. Unfortunately, there is big problems now emerge from the environmental crisis. People speak about the water quality and air quality, pollution. All these things are terrible. And now is more critical in Sudan or in Africa or worldwide. Because these things create more unhappy life and uncomfortable life for society. A drought, for example, and desertification. These are two both are miserable in Africa and create more displacements, more mobility, social and economical mobility, environmental change. So these are problems really. We need how to protect these societies from these consequences of this phenomena or crisis, hazards. People try to curb the harmful. How can we curb the harmful under the stress of the political and economical situations, conditions? All these things are very miserable. So information itself is a problem. Transparency is completely neglected in these countries like African or Sudan, for example. So when we speak about the environmental problems or environmental crisis, poverty is now miserable in African countries. The circle of poverty is increasing. The line, those people live under the line of poverty is miserable. People cannot eat, and no find shelter, no water, not quality of water. Water itself as accessibility or availability is a problem. So we need first to think about how creative society can reach the house of those people, how to knock the door of those people and said there is something called creative society that can participate in solving problems like this. So the big problem is that in Sudan, for example, internet, for example, is a problem. How can we connect with the worldwide so as to transfer the information from mass media or from the other sources? It's a problem because accessibility is a big problem in technology in Sudan, for example, and African countries maybe there. So the challenge is that how can people live under stress and under unsustained for their basic needs? How can they need to jump to another step so as to find to enjoy something like this internationally? It is a challenge. I think it is a not easy task for societies like Sudan, for example. Mainly in rural areas, for example, people cannot find to eat. They are struggling so as to eat. They are suffering from electricity, water, not water quality, water availability. They are struggling from health care. It's a big problem there. So we need support for this, how to solve these problems, how gather people together to sit down and think about the creative society as an approach for solving these problems. Maybe in Khartoum, environment is different because it's urban and there is universities and there is scholars, elites, for example, scientists. Maybe their colleagues can understand these things, but how to respond for these approaches or for these new technologies or for this new innovation so as to participate on. So I think it is a challenge for the society itself. Thank you very much for this.
Yes, I totally agree with you that even people would be willing to go, but they're lacking the information. And as you said, there is in some countries there is a problem with the internet, so they don't have the information how the creative society can help them or how can it solve the problems. And that's why I think it's even more important that people who already know the information and are aware of that, do have access to it, just spread it by word of mouth, like our ancestors did. There was no internet a couple thousands of years ago, or a couple hundreds years ago as well. And we just need to talk at every possible opportunity. Instead of discussing the ice hockey results from the last night, why don't we just tell people about whoever we're discussing with our friends? Why don't we just tell them about the creative society?
Can I put a comment, please, here?
Sure.
Dr. Ibrahim is mainly working with youth generation. Probably the people in the college are on the about or would plan to get married, for example. But before they get married, they're concerned about finding a job. So what happened, in my view, is that the conversations in that society, in that community, in that segment of teenagers or university students, is all about safety, is all about finding solutions, how they can fulfill their marriage, and how can they find jobs. But if I'm sure Dr. Ibrahim agrees with me that when you look deeply into the subject, it's just we are as generation of students trying to fit within the existing standard of the society. So say we are in the university as products waiting to get out of the college, and we hope to get married according to the standard of the society, find a house and a job that fits the standard of the society. And then if our marriage is going to consume a lot of money, then we will ask for people to lend us money. So we start our life under line of poverty because we are already in debt. And not on debt because we love to do something or because we want to do something, it's because we want to fit in the standard of society. Having this set in context, this is where a role of a professor like Dr. Ibrahim, and I would love to participate in such role, is to create the talks among the youth generation to change that mindset. Because marriage is the same process across the world. In India, it follows the society rules. In Sudan, it follows the society rules. But in both two regions, it's about taking loans, spending a lot of money, becoming debt. And then you no longer have the freedom to live a life of a good standard. So it's all about the mindset, because if we start with these generations and start to tell them, direct our message to them, telling them that live your rules, live your life according to your rules, within your own means, learn financial literacy. Don't just get on what the society force you to do. If that means you live by your own rules, here is the rules. We've got 8 principles that you can adopt, and you'll have people to support you. Because most of the kids or the teenagers are too scared to believe in their own standards. We tell them, no, look at Mahdia. We believe in these principles. We will support you. Whom do we need to speak to? In your family, let us come in the picture. We speak to them. We tell them that you have the right to live as a full human being without being forced to borrow just to please someone else, and to start your life as a fresh graduate, not as a fresh debt person. So this is what I believe we must take it as a responsibility and find the legal ways to communicate to these generations formally to build this society. Because for me, I have taken this as a mission since I was introduced to global society. I took my permission to myself. I said, I'm taking this permission that we have 2 enemies actually. Allow me to say that. Maybe climate change is one enemy, but sorry, the current societies are my personal enemy.
Yes, I agree.
I am against the principles of satisfying other people. I'm against the principles of how societies look at women. I'm against the principles of how society look at work standards. So hold on a second. I also cause for that I must awaken the new generations who are going to come and walk in this path of life, and they need to have a mindset like Mahdia, so that they can flourish and be able to speak like her. Because I believe if we have just 100 more Mahdia, we don't have to worry about this world anymore. It's going to be in safe hands for sure.
Okay, one comment. I think if first of all I want to add something.
Please.
I want to add before 3 weeks already I started a micro cell for creative society in Khartoum University. I call it UKCS, University of Khartoum Creative Society. And I started with 10 TA, teaching assistants and lecturers, 10 females and 2 males. And I will start with them in my office. And I said to him, there is a body called Creative Society. And I handed them a hard copy about the 10 foundations of the Creative Society. And I become to discuss this. After 1 month, there is a big group can be there and separation for creating University of Khartoum Creative Society at a branch of the UK Creative Society. Already I started there.
So much, Dr. Ibrahim. Thank you for all your efforts. Like, really appreciate. And if some of you would like to add something to say the message to all our viewers, to motivate them, to inspire people to act, please go ahead.
I would like to say something if time allows. once I was sitting with a group of creative society members. Some of them are so seniors. They've been in the process for a long time. And I said, when I was explaining creative society, I said that we are having a dream. The creative society is a dream, but we talk about this dream until it becomes reality. Now he disagreed with me. And he said, no, creative society is a reality, and we are speaking about it so that this reality lives. Well, I think it is both. And I think what Mahdia said today can resonate to everything we are doing and we are about to do in the future. If I will spend my life creating awareness that our society rules is not effective, that will be useless, because I need to put a replacement for that problem. If I'm taking the rules of my society out, I need to put a replacement for it. And creative society is the right replacement. And maybe I would be in a country or part of the world that I may not see a parliamentary procedure that will adopt the 8 principles, but that doesn't matter. Maybe my words here, from where I am today, through this channel, can reach someone who will initiate a parliamentary procedure somewhere and make it happen. Today, when Dr. Ibrahim said about this community he's creating, I got excited. I want to connect to it. I want to share some positive seeds in that land of Sudan. Maybe it will grow later to make what it meant to make. Now, most people see the world is heading towards catastrophes, wars, and problems. Well, guess what? It's not about whether we can save the world or not, because eventually we're all going to leave it. It's what Mahdia said. It's about the day we leave, we know we regret nothing, and we know that we did our best. And I think this message of hers, even I think she left us, she's not with us on the channel anymore, but the words of Mahdia, that what really matters is the day we leave this world, we leave it with our head high, and we are so proud of ourselves that we did our best, we communicated our words to the best we can, and we actually enjoyed this process.
I want to add something.
Absolutely.
I think our today meeting is closely and exclusively within the domain of the 3 main foundation, creative society foundation. One of them is the human life. Because this last video we watched it is mainly for human life, the highest value of the human life. Where is it? It's a question. And the second foundation that related to the today's meeting is human safety. Human without safety, no happiness, no comfortable, no enjoyable. So it is a matter of how to save the society from these crises, hazards, disasters, risks. So it is a matter of one foundation. No streets creators. No street creator. How can we find this in societies? How find people that not can create more violations, more trouble seekers? We need to cut this down. And the third foundation that associated with today's meeting also is the development of personality. Because we need a comprehensive something about the personality to build and to create the personality, as well as well-being and how to live happiness people in the societies. So these are 3 main creative foundations today are to be concluded as for your meeting today. And we hope that we are trying to do an action plan for what we say. Thank you.
Oh, that Anastasia would love to add something about another foundation that she personally like, about transparency and openness of information.
Yes, the main 2 also, which I like, one of my favorite, is transparency of information and creative ideology. because I can see what's going on right now, what kind of information we are watching, we are reading right now through media, and I see it's a disaster. First of all, you cannot trust information which you hear and see, and secondly, your reaction of what you just saw is very often just terrible. So both of this foundation, if you will make them together, and you will always inform people, and you will develop a creative ideology in the society all around the world, everything will change so fast. So I just want to talk to everyone who will watch this video later on. Dear friends, we are all humans and we are all same. And right now, we are on that age when either by being united, we can change our future and future of our kids, or it's going to be ended. So let's take a chance. Let's see each other. Let's help each other. Let's start respecting each other, and let's build the new society, because for sure we can do this. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And dear viewers, if you have never heard about a Creative Society and Aid Foundation, please don't forget to visit creativesociety.com and learn. Please, that's very important information. And also don't forget to save the date, the May 7th, for the groundbreaking event, The Global Crisis, We, the People, We Want to Live. And again, that event, that forum will stream on thousands of different platforms and translated to 100 different languages with one purpose: to spread the information about the serious that we have in our society, serious crisis and threats that we are facing right now. Please don't be indifferent. Join that forum and spread the information about this event with all people you know.
Thank you, dear guests, for today's participation. It was really an honor to have you here, and we are all looking forward to see you in our next international discussions. Thank you very much.